So as you guys know, I've said before, my parents' house had a devastating fire back in October, and it's Sunday, it's Mother's Day, but it's the first that the weather has been good, and my mom and I have just come to the house to just walk through. This is the first I've been here. It is fully stripped back to the studs. It's pretty emotional, I'm not gonna lie. This home has been in our family for over 100 years. It was gifted to my great-grandmother by a woman who my grandfather was then named after. My son is named after her. It's pretty devastating. So I'm not doing this for views or for likes or for clout, but just to sort of share this journey that my family are going on. So yeah. So everything is back to the studs. This was our little TV snug. All the windows are boarded up. This was a wall. This is an old potbelly stove. Everything's white, my mom said, because they sprayed it to prevent mold, I guess. Yeah, this is the kitchen, so everything's... Wow. I don't know if you, yeah, you can see that the floor from above broke through. The windows there, the fire department had to break it through, and it's really incredible because the island where my parents live has a volunteer fire department, so they were really heroic in saving this house as much as they did, which is pretty incredible. You know, my mom and I were talking about that day and the phone call she made to me, and she was so calm on, you know, as the house was on fire. And she said, I have some bad news, the house is on fire. And, you know, how lucky are we to have this incredible fire department that can save this historic home, the structure that we have. So this was, well, it was a brand new bathroom, shower room that my parents had just put in, which has had to have been all ripped out, which is horrific. This is old staircase. You can see there the paint that my grandmother painted when I was a kid. I can remember her putting that paint color in. Holy shit, man. So this was my parents' bedroom. This is where the fire started. This was the bathroom. But Jesus, fire is just so devastating. This was my mom's beautiful cedar-lined closet. Down here, down a little step. This was the bedroom where my sister and I slept when we were kids, where my mom slept when she was a little girl. And then down here was the cute little back bedroom where my uncle slept when I was a little girl, before he met my aunt and went on to have my cousins. And up there is the attic, which just looks incredibly charred. Wow, that's very scary. So right there must have been right where the floor went through. Oh yeah, you can see a hole. Right over there, there's a hole. We will rebuild. I mean, these all look okay. Yeah. They don't seem damaged. Is the Peloton all destroyed too? Again? Is the Peloton all destroyed too? Oh gosh, yeah, they're all gone. What's this? Is this not the Peloton?
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all destroyed.
This is, yeah, that's the Peloton there. All the books and everything. Hi, so we are back at the house today, and I realized that I've not walked around the perimeter of the house. I mean, there's a truly incredible amount of debris still here, but if you can see up behind me, I mean, that's the outside of the house. It's such an incredible property. I'll turn the camera around. Sorry, somebody's going past with their noisy motorcycle, but you can just see how truly devastated the house was. All, you know, the original features that my parents so lovingly restored. And then equally, if you look down on the ground, you can see like all the ash and the debris is still here. But one thing that is definitely gonna make me emotional is it's up on the other side of the property actually. I mean, my mom's things are still up there. I'm gonna walk down. The house is just so sunny. Oh, there's a thing that says it's unsafe. You probably just can't, saying you can't go in, just stop people trying to get in and like loot or something. Yeah, look, all the debris from like off the roof and stuff. Yeah, this is gonna make me emotional. But this wind chime, completely unimpacted. And I don't want to get emotional saying this. We always said, so when I was younger, my grandfather, my mom's father, passed away when I was 10 I think, yeah. And we've always had wind chimes on this house because it's right by the ocean, and you can see the ocean behind me. And we always said that the wind chimes were him saying hello to us and telling us he's here and he's okay. And the fact that those wind chimes don't even have any fire damage at all. I mean, look at them. They're completely and totally untouched, unhit, you know, not even a little fleck of fire damage. It's just incredible. It's like he was, oh, I'm zoomed out. It's like he was here protecting the house. Yeah, so my mom hasn't moved them for obvious reasons. It's like he's here with us. And you know, one of the options that my parents had was to just sell the property because it's water facing, it's in a really desirable location, and they're older. So to take on a project of restoring or rebuilding this property is enormous, completely enormous for anyone of any age. But the fact that the wind chimes, and I don't know, you know, people might think we're absolutely mad for being superstitious about something like that. It just felt like a sign. And then also on top of the house, years ago, when Barry and I were in our first home that we ever bought, my parents were visiting and they found a wind chime, not a wind chime, a weather vane. And they were visiting us in the Midlands, and at this really, really cool reclamation yard in Warwick. And it has a fish on it. And my mom, being my mom, flew it back to the US, and they had it put on top of their house because it was made the same year that our house was built. And being a fish and being near the ocean, it felt appropriate. It felt like it belonged on our house. And my mom said it felt like it was having us here in the house. And that was at the front of the house, right where the height of the fire was. And it got knocked off the house in the fire, and my mom was really worried about it. And a few days or a week after the fire, she came back and she was walking around the property and she found the weather vane undamaged. And again, that was just a sign that, like, they need to stay here, they need to rebuild, and that our family belongs in this house where our family has been for 100 years. So we're here today to sort through the storage units that are housed containers that are on the driveway, and red lights are off. And we're gonna pick up some of this debris that's just all over the yard and everywhere. There's just glass everywhere. And my mom hasn't been able to do it on her own. My stepdad hasn't been able to mentally come here. He's not really been back to the house. I don't think he's been back to the house. So my mom, that's why I'm here, because my stepdad's not able mentally to come and do this, physically able to do this. So I'm gonna just do what I can to help. So the weather's beautiful today, so we're going to take advantage, and I'm gonna do what I can to help my parents out. So yeah, we're gonna enjoy the sunshine, enjoy being by the water. The ocean just gives me life, and make as much progress as we can. when I was referring to items not being wiped down, these photo frames here, not at all wiped down. And then this was broken. The beak is damaged. There's been no notification. Plates on top of my mother's glassware, and this was completely and totally unwrapped. And they are caked in mold, so they clearly were not wiped down. My mom just wiped this one down, but it's just disappointing. This is how the picture of my great-grandmother was wiped down. Again, disrespect comes to mind. If this was your great-grandmother, is this how you would wipe down the last remaining photograph of her? And then this is the picture of my grandfather that has not been wiped down. So I'm back at the house after a really hard day. My mom and I were there for like 5 hours. There are two, I think you'll see on the footage, there's 2 storage containers, and unbeknownst to us, so the way things work when you have a house fire here in the US, I don't know what it's like in the UK, but there are companies who specialize in this type of situation, and they come in and they do like the biohazard cleaning, and they take all of your belongings out and clean what can be cleaned and then dispose of what needs to be disposed of. But they also they put this spray on the walls that prevent mold, and they packed up everything that needed to go into these containers. And that's what they specialize in. I've never seen such poor packing and storing in my entire life. The tape that was used was the worst quality tape. Nothing stuck. Maybe 20% of the boxes were labeled. Many of the boxes weren't taped on the top, therefore were collapsing in. Glassware wasn't bubble wrapped. Suffice it to say, it was a long day. The camera that I had set up to show my mom and I going through the storage unit or the storage container sort of pivoted in that we had to record what we were finding, and that we were finding damage and broken things, and it's become this whole thing. So the owner of the company is out of the country at the moment. I got on the phone to him. I had sufficiently calmed down by that point because I was not a happy bunny originally. I was using several choice words. He's coming back out to the property for 9 o'clock tomorrow morning with a team. We're going to have to completely unpack the second container, go through all the boxes, repack all the contents of all the boxes, and repack the entire container. Because I said, I am not leaving this country with this container in the state that it's in. I'm not allowing my parents to be left in this state. I mean, it was the whole thing. So they've taken guys off other jobs. And I was like, no, I want you there too. So it's just been a bit of a stressful day. So I'm just going to go have a shower. I have got some nice face masks for my mom, and I will actually, my stepdad was like, your mom needs a skincare mask. And he's like, here, you know what you're looking at. Order something for you and your mom. So those came this morning, and they've been sitting in the fridge so that we can have some nice, cool skincare masks. And they've got like Sika and chamomile and hyaluronic acid, really soothing, hydrating stuff. My words aren't coming today. So yeah, I now have to go and upload all of my footage that I ended up having to take of all the damage and everything onto USB drives to give to I think he's like the senior operations guy tomorrow. So that's going to take me a while. I'm going to also see if I can get it onto like a Google Drive or something to send to him tonight. But yeah, oh, my stomach's going. I forgot to eat lunch. Yeah, first things first, shower. Because another thing, like all the things that went into the storage containers were supposed to have been cleaned. Because like when you rebuild a house after a fire, your house is going to be nice and new and beautiful and clean and rebuilt. You don't want to then put items that are dirty and horrible and sooty and stained and you back into your nice new rebuilt house. Like some of these things, my hands, I just went to the bathroom and washed them, but they were filthy. I mean, you can see I've got dirt on my face and soot on my face from going through this storage container. It was filthy, and it should not have been filthy. So that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to help my parents. I'm here to step in and take the pressure off of them as much as possible. So that is tomorrow's drama. But for tonight, uploading footage to show them what a shit show that was. So yeah, I'm going to leave it here for today. I don't know that I'm going to film tomorrow. At least the weather was beautiful. I got to be outside all day. Went great on my SPF because I was not about to be getting a sunburn while going through that. So good night, and I will check in with you on another day.